Picture this. I'm standing in front of my bathroom mirror, the faint hum of the city buzzing through the cracked window. And I'm staring at a face that's seen 32 years of ups and downs. There's a flicker of something in my eyes, maybe. It's just the dim light, or maybe it's the weight of a life that's settled into a predictable rhythm. My name's Adam, and I'm just a regular guy, trying to make sense of it all. I've got a job pushing hardware sales, a gig that pays the bills but doesn't exactly set my soul on fire. My real spark, though, comes from the people around me, the ones who've carved out a permanent spot in my heart. First, there's Sarah, my wife of 5 years. She's 30, a graphic designer with a mind as creative as her sketches. I still remember the first time I heard her laugh at that wedding where we met, sharp, bright, like it could cut through any gloom. Her wit matched it, always quick with a comeback that'll leave me grinning like an idiot. We've got a cozy little 2-bedroom apartment in a suburban corner of town. Nothing fancy, just ours. Lately, though, I've noticed a routine creeping in. We've been trying to shake things up, hitting new restaurants or catching late-night movies. Anything to keep that early magic alive. Then there's my crew, the brothers I chose back in college. Jake's 33, a gym trainer with a voice that booms across any room. He's the guy who turns every gathering into a party, all charisma and energy. Mark, at 31, is the opposite quiet, a software developer who prefers the company of code to people. So here I am, stepping into Rusty's bar on a Friday evening. Sarah right by my side, her arm looped through mine like we're still those giddy newlyweds. The door swings shut behind us, and that familiar wave of stale beer and greasy fried food slams into me, a scent that's somehow comforting in its roughness. My eyes adjust to the dim glow of flickering neon lights hanging above, casting a hazy red and blue over the worn wooden tables. Over in the corner, the jukebox is cranking out some gritty old rock tune, the kind that makes you feel like you've stepped back a couple of decades. I spot our usual booth. Right away, Jake, Mark, and Ethan are already there. Their grins wide as they wave us over like we're late to some grand event. I slide into the booth next to Jake, who's already mid-story, his hands flailing as he describes some poor soul at the gym who couldn't keep up with his brutal workout. Sarah settles in across from me, and I can't help but notice how easily she fits into this rough-around-the-ages crowd. She's laughing at Jake's tale, her gin and tonic catching the light as she takes a sip, her eyes sparkling with amusement. I've got a cold beer in my hand, the condensation slick against my palm, and I take a long pull, feeling the tension of the week melt away. Over at the bar, Tony, the gruff bartender with a face like weathered leather, is wiping down the counter with a rag that's probably older than I am. He gives me a nod, the kind that says he's seen me here 100 times before. Mark's got Ethan roped into a heated debate about the latest tech innovations. I'm sitting there at Rusty's bar, the noise of the place swirling around me like a storm I can't quite escape. The beer in my hand is my third door, maybe. Mark's got Ethan roped into a heated debate about the latest tech innovations. As I tip it back, I'm sitting there at Rusty's bar. Starts to blur at the place swirling like around me like a storm I can't quite escape. My stomach churns. The beer in my hand is my third door, part nausea, part something I can't name. I've lost count. My words are slurring now. Back. Each one heavier than the last. Starts to blur at the edges, I lean hard like against the bar counter. A smudged window. The wood cool under my sweaty palms. A sick twist to Sarah that part nausea, part something I can't name. Just a breather. My words are slurring now. That look half each one heavier than the last. Half distraction. And I lean hard against the bar counter, back to chat with Jake. The wood cool under my sweaty palm. Fading into the hum of the crowd. I mumble to Sarah that my body feels like it's shutting down. I need a minute, just a breather. And she gives me legs are look half refusing to hold me up properly. Half distraction. And I before nodding and turning back barely to chat making with Jake. It before my knees her give voice out. Fading into the hum of the crowd. My vision swims. My body feels like it's shutting down, smearing into streaks of red and blue. And my legs are led on the refusing to hold me up properly. and I slump
against
onto
my
a bar
cheek,
stool,
a
barely
distant
making
annoyance.
it before my knees give out.
I think I pass out.
My vision
Or at least
swims.
I'm close to it.
The neon lights
Drifting in this
smearing
drunken
into streaks
haze
of
where
red
sounds
and blue,
and shapes
and I
blend
rest
into
my
a
head
murky
on the
mess.
sticky counter. The grime.
Voices laugh
Against
somewhere
my
nearby,
cheek,
a distant
glasses
annoyance.
but it's all
I
muffled.
think I pass
like,
out.
I'm
Or at
underwater.
least I'm close to it.
Then, through
Drifting in this
half-closed
drunken
eyes,
haze
something
where
cuts
sounds
through
and
the
shapes
fog,
blend
sharp
into a
and
murky
brutal.
mess.
I see Sarah.
Voices
my
laugh
Sarah,
somewhere nearby,
standing near our booth
glasses
with
clink,
Jake, but it's
They're
all
close
muffled,
to close.
like
Her
I'm
arms are around
underwater.
him. Not
Then,
in some
through
casual,
half-closed
friendly
eyes,
way,
something cuts
but with a
through the
kind of
fog,
intimacy
sharp
that twists
and
a
brutal.
knife in my chest.
I see Sarah.
My heart
my
starts
Sarah,
racing,
standing
pounding
near our booth
against
with Jake.
my ribs.
They're
But
close
I can't
to close.
Her arms
My
are
body
around
betrays
him,
me,
not
heavy
in some
and useless,
casual,
as
friendly
I
way,
watch,
but with a
helpless,
kind of
while
intimacy
she leans
that
in.
twists a knife in my
Their
chest.
lips meet,
My
long
heart
and
starts
deliberate,
racing,
right there in the
pounding
open,
against
like I'm
my
not even
ribs.
here, but I can't
The
move.
shock burns through the
My
alcohol.
body betrays me, heavy
searing
and
my mind
useless,
awake
as
even
I
as my
watch,
limbs
helpless,
stay dead.
while she
It
leans
gets
in.
worse.
I
Their
see
lips
Mark
meet,
and Ethan
long
approach,
and deliberate,
their expressions
right there in the open,
unreadable, like I'm not even
as
here.
they join Sarah and Jake.
The shock burns
I wake
through
up with
the
my
alcohol,
head pounding like a jackhammer,
searing my mind
Each
awake,
throb
even
a
as my
brutal
limbs
reminder
stay
of
dead.
last night's excess.
It gets worse.
My
I
mouth
see
feels
Mark
like it's
and Ethan
stuffed
approach,
with sandpaper,
their
dry
expressions
and gritty.
unreadable, and I can
As
barely
they join
pry
Sarah
my
and
eyes
Jake,
open against the
I wake
harsh
up with my
sunlight
head
streaming
pounding
through
like
the
a
blinds.
jackhammer.
Each
It
throb
cuts across
a
the
brutal
room
reminder
in sharp,
of last night's
unforgiving
excess.
lines.
My mouth
Illuminating
feels
the
like it's
mess of
stuffed with
tangled
sandpaper,
sheets
dry
around me.
and gritty.
I'm in our bed,
And I can barely
the
pry my
familiar
eyes
scent
open
of
against
Sarah's
the harsh
lavender
sunlight
shampoo
streaming
lingering
through
on the
blinds.
pillow next to mine.
It cuts across the
But
room
there's
in
nothing
sharp,
comforting about it
unforgiving
today.
lines,
My
illuminating
tongue
the mess
still
of
carries the
tangled
stale, bitter
sheets
taste
around
of
me.
last night's beer.
I'm in our bed,
A sour memory
the familiar
that churns
scent
my
of
stomach
Sarah's
as I
lavender
try to
shampoo
piece together
lingering
the
on the
fractured
pillow
images
next
in
to
my
mine.
mind.
But
What the
there's
hell
nothing
happened
comforting
at
about it
Rusty's?
today.
It
My
feels like a
tongue
nightmare,
still carries the
jagged
stale,
edges,
bitter taste of
of a
last
scene
night's
I
beer.
can't fully grasp.
A sour
but the
memory
ache
in
that
my
churns
chest
my
tells
stomach
me
as I
it was
try to
real.
piece together the
I
fractured
roll over,
images in my
groaning,
mind.
and there
What
she
the hell
is,
happened
Sarah,
at Rusty's?
sitting on the edge of the bed,
Her
her back
feels
to me,
like a nightmare,
scrolling
jagged
through her
edges
phone like it's
of
just
a scene
another
I
Saturday
can't fully
morning.
grasp.
But the
Her
ache in my
posture is
chest
casual,
tells me
almost
it was
too
real,
relaxed,
and it sends a shiver down my spine. I clear my throat, my voice coming out rough and hoarse, barely above
I
a
roll
whisper,
over,
groaning.
Hey,
And there she
what
is,
happened last
Sarah,
night?
sitting on the edge of
I
the bed,
ask,
her back
half
to
hoping
me,
she laugh it off.
scrolling through her
Tell
phone
me I
like
imagined
it's just
everything,
another Saturday
that it was
morning.
just the alcohol playing
Her
tricks
posture
on
is
me.
casual,
But when
almost
she
too
turns her
relaxed,
head, there's a
and it
smirk
sends
on
a
her
shiver
lips,
down my
a
spine.
cold glint in her eyes.
I clear
that
my
cuts
throat,
deeper
my
than
voice
any
coming
words
out
could.
rough and hoarse,
Oh,
barely
you mean
above a
at the
whisper.
bar?
Hey,
She says, what
her
happened
tone
last
light,
night?
almost teasing.
I ask,
as if we're
half hoping
talking
she
about
laugh it
something
off.
trivial.
Tell me I imagined
Yeah,
everything.
I was with
that
Jake,
it was just the
Mark,
alcohol
and
playing
Ethan,
tricks on me.
right there while
But
you
when
were
she
well
turns
out
her
of it.
head, there's a smirk
You
on her
should have
lips.
seen yourself,
a
Adam,
cold glint
just
in her
lying
eyes
there,
that cuts deeper
completely
than any
useless.
words could.
Oh,
Her words
you
hit
mean
like a
at
punch,
the bar?
and then
She
she
says,
laughs a
her
sharp,
tone light,
mocking sound,
almost teasing.
that,
as if we're talking
echoes
about
in the quiet
something
room,
trivial.
slicing through whatever
Yeah,
fragile
I
hope
was with
I
Jake,
had left.
Mark, and Ethan.
I stare at her,
right
my
there
vision
while you
still
were well
blurry
out of
from the
it.
hangover,
You
searching
should have
her
seen
face
yourself,
for
Adam,
any hint of regret.
just lying there,
Any
completely
flicker of the
useless.
woman I thought I knew.
Her words hit
The
like
woman
a
I
punch,
loved. I've
and
been
then
pacing
she
the
laughs
worn-out
a sharp,
hardwood floors of our
mocking
apartment
sound.
for hours
That,
now.
my
Echoes in the
footsteps
quiet
echoing
room,
in the quiet,
slicing
like a
through
drumbeat
whatever
of my
fragile
own
hope
unraveling
I had
thoughts.
left.
I
Every
stare at
creak
her,
of the
my
floorboards
vision
seems
seems
to
to
mock
mock
from the
me,
hangover,
mirroring
searching
the
her
chaos
face
in my
for
head
any
after
hint of
last night
regret.
at Rusty's and
Any
Sarah's
flicker of the
cold,
woman
cutting
I
words
thought I
this
knew.
morning.
The woman I loved,
I've been
shaking
pacing
the
images,
worn-out hardwood
the
floors of
fragmented
our
memories of
apartment
her
for
with
hours
Jake,
now.
Mark,
My
and
footsteps
Ethan.
echoing
And
in the
that
quiet,
smirk
like a
she
drumbeat
wore
of
like
my
a
own
weapon.
unraveling thoughts.
My chest feels tight,
Every creak
like
of the
it's caving
floorboards
in
seems
under the
to
weight
mock
of
me.
betrayal,
But I
mirroring the
need
chaos
clarity.
in my head after last
I
night
need
at
to know
Rusty's
if
and
what I
Sarah's
saw
cold,
was real,
cutting words this
not
morning.
just some drunken hallucination.
I can't. So
shake the
I
images,
make a decision,
the
one
fragmented
that memories of
shocks
her
even
with
myself.
Jake, Mark,
I'm
and
going
Ethan.
to see.
And that smirk
It again,
she
with a
wore
clear
like a
mind.
weapon. No haze of
My
alcohol
chest
to
feels
blur
tight,
the edges.
like it's
I
caving
grab
in
my
under the
phone,
weight of
my
betrayal,
fingers trembling
but
as I dial
dial
Jake's number first.
I need
My
to know
voice comes
if
out
what I saw
steadier
was
than
real.
I feel, not
Each
just
word
some drunken
deliberate
hallucination.
as I ask him to come over
So,
tonight.
I make a decision,
My heart
one
thunders
that
in my
shocks
ears,
even
a
myself.
relentless pounding.
I'm going
But
to
he
see.
agrees without a
It
second
again,
thought.
with a clear
His
mind,
tone
no
almost
haze
too
of
eager,
alcohol to
like
blur
he's
the
been
edges.
waiting for the call.
I grab my phone.
I repeat
my
the
fingers
process with
trembling
Mark
as I
and
dial
Ethan,
Jake's
and
number
they're
first.
just as quick to say
My
yes.
voice comes out
There.
steadier than I feel.
Voices carrying
Each
a
word
strange
deliberate
undercurrent
as
of
I ask him to come over
that
tonight.
twists my gut even
My
further.
heart thunders in my ears.
I turn to
a
Sarah,
relentless
who's lounging
pounding,
on the couch
but
with
he
a magazine,
agrees without a second thought,
and tell her I
his
want to
tone
witness it
almost
again.
too eager,
Sober
like
this
he's
time,
been waiting
to understand
for the call.
what's really
I
happening.
repeat the process with
Her
Mark
eyes
and
flicker
Ethan,
with
and
something
they're just
amusement,
as quick to say
maybe
yes.
defiance.
There,
But she just nods.
voices carrying a strange
sly
undercurrent
grin
of
tugging at her
anticipation
lips
that
as she
twists
says,
my gut
"Sure,
even
Adam."
further. Let's see how
I
you
turn to
handle
Sarah,
it.
who's lounging on the
The
couch
evening
with a
creeps
magazine,
in, and when they arrive,
and tell
the
her
air in
I
our
want
small
to
living
witness
room
it again.
feels suffocating.
Sober this time,
charged with
understand
attention
what's really
I can't
happening.
name.
Her
Jake
eyes flicker
sprawls
with
on our
something
old
amusement,
sagging couch,
maybe defiance,
his broad frame
but she
taking up
just
too
nods.
much space,
While
a sly
Mark
grin
sits stiffly,
tugging at her lips
beside
as she
him,
says, his quiet
"Sure, Adam.
demeanor hiding
Let's
something
see how
I
you
can't
handle
read.
it."
Ethan leans against the armrest, casual as ever, but his eyes keep darting to Sarah. She's playing the perfect host, offering drinks and snacks as if nothing's amiss. In the kitchen now, the cold edge of the counter pressing into my lower back. As I lean against it, my arms cross tight over my chest,
creeps
like
in,
they can hold
and when
in the
they
storm
arrive,
raging
the air in
inside
our
me.
small living room feels
My eyes are
suffocating.
locked on a photo,
Charged
stuck
with
to the
attention
fridge with
I
a
can't
faded
name.
magneto snapshot
Jake
of Sarah
sprawls
and
on
me
our
from
old
our
sagging
honeymoon
couch,
his
grinning
broad
like
frame
the
taking
world
up
couldn't
too much
touch
space,
us,
while
the
Mark
ocean
sits
sparkling
stiffly
behind us,
under a
beside
sky
him,
that
his
seemed
quiet demeanor
endless.
hiding something
That
I
memory
can't read.
feels Ethan
Like a
leans
lion
against
now,
the armrest,
a cruel trick
casual
after
as ever.
everything I've seen
But
and
his
heard.
eyes keep darting to
The
Sarah.
quiet hum of the
She's
refrigerator
playing the
fills
perfect
the
host,
silence,
offering drinks
a low,
and snacks
steady drone
as if
that
nothing's
somehow
amiss.
makes the emptiness louder.
In the kitchen now,
From
the
living
cold
room,
edge of the
I
counter
hear distant
pressing
laughter,
into my lower back,
sharp and careless.
As I lean against
Cutting
it,
through the
my
walls
arms cross
like a blade.
tight over my chest.
It's
like
them,
they can
Sarah.
hold in the storm raging
Jake,
inside me.
Mark,
and Ethan,
my eyes
still
are locked
carrying
on a
on
photo
as if
stuck to the
nothing's wrong,
fridge with a faded
as if I'm
magneto
not standing
snapshot
here
of
with
the
Sarah
weight of
and
their
me
betrayal
from our honeymoon.
crushing me.
It hits
Grinning
me like
all
the
at
world
once,
couldn't touch
a realization
us.
so
The
heavy,
ocean
I
sparkling
can barely
behind
breathe
us
under it.
a sky that seemed
I can't
endless.
live like this.
That memory feels
I can't keep pretending.
like a lie
Can't
now.
keep swallowing
a cruel
the pain
trick
of knowing
after
my
everything
wife
I've
and my
seen
closest
and heard.
friends have crossed lines.
The quiet
that
hum
can't
of the
be
refrigerator
uncrossed.
fills the silence.
I've seen too
a
much,
low, steady
felt too
drone
much,
that somehow
and every
makes
smirk.
the emptiness louder.
Every whispered
From
word
the
I've
living room,
caught tonight
I hear
while staying
distant
sober
laughter,
has
sharp
confirmed
and
the
careless.
worst.
But I'm
Cutting
not
through
going
the
to confront
walls
them
like a blade.
I'm not going to
It's them,
scream or
Sarah.
fight or beg for
Jake,
explanations
Mark,
that won't
and
change
Ethan
a thing.
still carrying on
No,
as if
I'm
nothing's
done
wrong.
with that. As
I'm
if
done
I'm
with
not
them.
standing here with the weight
My
of their
mind's
betrayal
made up in a
crushing
heartbeat.
me.
It hits me all at
resolve
once.
that feels both
A realization
terrifying
so heavy
and right.
I can barely
I move
breathe under
silently,
it.
almost mechanically,
I
to
can't
our
live
bedroom,
like this.
pulling a small
I
duffel
can't
bag
keep
from the
pretending.
closet.
Can't keep
My
swallowing
hands
the
are
pain
steady
of knowing
as
my
I pack
wife
the
and my
essentials of
closest
few
friends
shirts,
have crossed
jeans,
lines that
my
can't
wallet,
be
a
uncrossed.
charger.
I've
Each item
seen too
feels
much,
like a step
felt
away
too
from
much,
this life,
and every
a
smirk.
brick in the wall I'm building.
Every whispered
between
word
me
I've caught
and this
tonight
mess.
while staying sober
I grab my
has
keys from the
confirmed
dresser,
worst. The metal,
but I'm not
cold
going to
against
confront
my
them
palm,
and head
I'm
back
not
to the
going to
kitchen.
scream or fight
I
or
scrawl a
beg for
note on a scrap of
explanations
paper
that won't change a
my
thing.
handwriting jagged,
No,
but
I'm
clear.
done with that.
I'm done. I'm done with
I
that.
leave it on the kitchen table.
My mind's
a
made
final
up in a
testament
heartbeat.
to my decision
a quiet
to move
resolve
on.
that feels both.
Don't forget to
terrifying
subscribe
and right. I
Like
move silently
and comment
almost
if you
mechanically
enjoyed this
to our
story.
bedroom, pulling
This
a
will help
small
us
duffel
create
bag
more
from
engaging
stories for you.